this is Doc with 69 Studios back again with another tutorial, and today's tutorial is actually going to be about Cinema 4D text shatter and crack effects using XBreaker. This is a video tutorial and actually a video response to Code Draco's video tutorial. The problem with his tutorial was it's a little bit outdated and I didn't see him post a response or a following up video for the new programs, and a lot of his subscribers were leaving comments. They didn't know what to do. XBreaker wasn't working and the random effector wasn't working. So I decided to go ahead and make this tutorial because his tutorial is actually a great tutorial. So to start off with, we're going to go ahead and download XBreaker. Go to nitro4d.com, go to freebie, and go to XBreaker. Once you're here, scroll down. If you have Cinema 4D R11.5, you want to download this one. If you have R12 or R13, then of course you want to download the newer one. And that was a big problem for a lot of people because they could not get XBreaker to work inside of the newer versions because he only has the download link for the old one. So in the description of this video, I'll be posting both links to both XBreakers. Moving along, let's go to defont.com. From defont.com, we'll download a font called Emison, E-M-I-S-O-N. Once you download it, double click it, right click it, and then install if you have Windows 7 or Windows 8. If you have previous versions, then you want to go to just YouTube how to install fonts for Windows XP, Windows Vista. You'll figure it out because I haven't did that in a good little while. After that, we're going to actually go ahead and jump to our Explorer. Alright, in the Explorer, depending on which XBreaker you downloaded, we're going to open it up. We're going to right click, copy. Then we're going to go over to our system. We're going to go to Program Files, not x86 if you have a 60-bit computer. We're going to go to Program Files. And we're going to go to Emison, Cinema 4D R12 or whatever version you have. Then we're going to go to Library. And we're going to go to Scripts. We're going to right click and paste right here. But you see I've already had it pasted. So actually we're just going to go ahead and move along to Cinema 4D. Now in Cinema 4D, so now what we're going to do is going to minimize the little studio I've made. It's not an extensive studio, it's just a little bit of lighting, a little bit of reflection, that's about it. Not as much reflection as Code Draco had with the softbox and all of that. It's just a regular 2 lights and background and the plane. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete the original and we're going to start off with the text layer. So we're going to go to MoGraph, MoText, and then we're going to type in our text. With the text in capitals, it really doesn't matter if you use capitals or not, you just cannot use numbers. It will not show up at all if you use numbers, so just stay with text. So for this, we're actually going to stick with code so I don't confuse people. I'm going to change the depth to 200, and we're going to move this over a little bit, try to center it, change the font. I'm going to type in E-N, Emison, click OK, and now you can see we have the font here. Okay, now this is part that a lot of people got confused about. When going to plugins, user script, and XBreaker. If XBreaker is grayed out and you cannot click on it, then that means you downloaded the wrong version. So you need to go back and download the newer version or vice versa. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and click on the XBreaker. We're going to change pieces to 25. You can really change the pieces to whatever you want. It just depends on how fractured you really want it to look. Now the mode, I've noticed you can actually change the mode to either keep it immediately or you can put it as on collision. It really doesn't matter. But so I don't confuse people, I'm going to go ahead and put it on collision. Everything else you do not have to worry about. So we're going to go ahead and go to break now. It'll take a little minute depending on how fast your computer is and how many letters you have. The more letters, the longer it'll take. Okay, so now you can see when I click on mode text, you can see all the different little fractures inside of it. And you can select each little different fracture. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drag this down. And now what we're going to do for R12 and R13 users, we're going to go to mode graph, fracture. Then we're going to change the fracture from straight to explode segments. Now we want to drag fracture down and then make mode text a child of fracture. With that being said, then we're going to go to fracture, make sure it's clicked, go back to mode graph, effector, and then random effector. So now we're going to drag down random effector, make fracture a child of random effector just to keep it organized. And now you can see when we render it, now you really get fractured pieces. But that's too fractured. You cannot see anything at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to random. I'm going to turn the random down to about 9. So now when you render it, you can really see that it's just small fractured and broken up. So now when exported from XBreaker, you get these two materials. You get outside layer and then you get an inside layer. The outside layer is the outside of the text. The inside layer is, of course, the inside of the text, meaning inside the cracks. That's the part that actually broke apart. So it's kind of like if you took an apple and cut it in half. You have the red or green outside. That'll be the outside. And then the fruit on the actual inside would be the inside layer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to outside, double click it. We're going to go to color, change the color to a dark black, but not all the way black. Click OK. I'm going to go to reflection. Get us a nice reflection, let's say about 25, I'd say. Okay, with that, exit. And now we're going to click on the inside layer. Now we're going to change this inside layer color. He did blue and I did purple already, so now this time we're actually going to do green. So I'm going to make a light, bright green. I'm going to add some reflection. Turn reflection down to, I'd say, about 40. Yeah, that looks good. And now we're going to render it. So now you can see the text is broken up. You got some reflection. You got a reflection on the studio floor. Got a little bit of lighting. The colors on the inside is very, very bright and vibrant. And after that, you can really do whatever you want. So basically, that's a wrap up of the tutorial. I will be posting links for both XBreakers, the font, and the small studio that I've made. And that's about it. See you next tutorial. When them lights flash, you seeing stacks cash. Come get this cameo on the dance floor.